Every major political party has provided a plan for how to deal with immigration. The Tories were going to send them to Rwanda. Labour were going to smash the boat. Reform is now saying they will deport. But what all of these plans highlight is this is a complicated problem, and it requires a strength of will, a willingness to act, and an honesty with the people of what is actually involved. If you look at the latest plan from Farage, the first thing that happened was they try and poke holes in it, and they create a logical trap. What if a woman is sent back and has less rights? What if that woman is sent back and dies? What if? Yeah, what if their children don't get the chicken nuggets they like? Apparently, chicken nuggets are really bad in some countries. A judge told me so. Well, why is it that the opposite is never asked? What if we allowed them to stay and they murder someone because they didn't give them more biscuits? What if we allowed them to stay and they commit a crime? What if we allowed them to stay and they run the drug and prostitution business in this country? What if we allowed them to stay and they're 20 times more likely to be offenders? Well, all of those have happened, but for some reason that test doesn't get applied. Well, the British people have been asking for common sense. They've not been asking for a total stop. They've not been asking for mass deportation. They've been asking for sensible numbers to be applied. And for people who come here as economic migrants with no skills and fabricated backstories and destroyed passports, to be seriously questioned as to whether they are genuine refugees or freebie hunters. But the politicians, and let's face it, the Home Office, the police, the churches, and every major body of government and authority have never asked those questions, what if it goes wrong? They just concern themselves with what if those people are disadvantaged in some way. Well, this is complicated and nobody's got all the answers. But we need politicians who are honest about the repercussions. Take just the hotels. When people go into hotels and you fill 33,000 hotel places, that makes it harder for tourists to come and bring money to Britain. That makes it harder for you to take your children to the seaside. And that makes it more likely that you've got 500 fighting age men living just round the corner from your house or your primary school. And that may cause problems or concern. If you take those 33,000 people out of the hotels, well, we're not going to put them in tents. We're not going to put them in the sort of accommodation that's good enough for our soldiers. We're going to put them in houses of multiple occupancy, or we're going to put them in houses that poor people or disadvantaged people or ex-soldiers, we're going to put them in your houses. And then not only are you not going to have a house, but those lucky few who do, your rent's going to be more expensive because there's somebody who's willing to pay big fat wads of cash to house those 33,000 people. And let's face it, By the time I post this video, 33,000 will be 34,000. We have to be honest as a problem. We have to drop the rhetoric, and we have to be honest about what can and can't be do. And somebody needs to be elected who actually has a plan that they intend to follow.